as we pause for the national anthem of Japan. Short anthem for the Japanese, appreciated by the blue-shirted bank of fans on the opposite side of the ground who had their scarves up, belting out the words as we await "O Cameroon, cradle of our fathers." The noise level, the decibel level increases here at the Free-Stage Stadium. There is a sense, Chris Waddle, isn't there, that it's one Africa really when it comes to the teams in this competition. Ghana, we saw with that victory over Serbia, has galvanised this continent really, and it doesn't matter that South Africa aren't playing here. It seems that all the neutral fans and the local fans are fully behind Cameroon in the stadium today.
Yeah, we saw the response after Ghana's win against Serbia, didn't it? The whole country were talking about it. All the Africans were so pleased. It was the first win by an African team in this tournament, and I'm sure today all the neutrals will be supporting Cameroon, and we've got a crop of Japanese opposite us, but they'll make a lot of noise.
Yeah.
They're very enthusiastic.
Not many of them, but they are enthusiastic, there's no question about that. Let's go through the teams for you then. A nominal home game for Japan. Eiji Kawashima is the goalkeeper from Kawasaki Frontale. It's his 11th cap today. The back four from right to left: Yuto Nagamoto, Marcus Tulio Tanaka, Yuji Nakazawa the captain, and Yuichi Kamano. Into the midfield, the holding player Yuki Abe, Daisuke Matsui, Keisuke Honda of CSKA Moscow. He reached the quarter-finals of the Champions League. In fact, it was his free kick against Sevilla in the second round that got CSKA into the last eight of the Champions League last season. Makato Hasebe and Yoshuito Endo will support a lone striker, Yoshito Okubo. So no Nakamura, the former Celtic man, which is interesting. For Cameroon, a 4-3-3 formation. In goal, Suleimanu Hamidou. Right back, Stéphane Mbia from Marseille. Sebastian Bassong of Spurs alongside Nicolas Nkulo. And also of Spurs, Benoit Asu Akotu is the left back. Three men in midfield: Joel Matip, Jean Makoun, Ayong Ino. Samuel Eto'o, of course, up front. Pierre Webo will be down the middle. Eric Choupo-Moting is up there as well. Japan, with their blue shirts, white shorts and blue socks, will gather for a huddle in the shadowed area to our left-hand side. Cameroon look very smart, very tightly fitting yellow jerseys. You're happy if your Sunday morning pub team don't adopt those shirts, aren't you? Green shorts and green socks. Neither team in the best of form, it has to be said, without a win in 12 games building up to these finals. The last victory for Cameroon way back in January in the group stage of the Africa Cup of Nations. And we are getting ready for kick-off here. Takeshi Okada is the coach for Japan. He's been under pressure. He's been mixing the formation up, and we're underway. Long punt forward by Cameroon to the right back area for Japan. Yuichi Kamano just allows that one to run out of play, takes the throw in to Matsui. He hooks it forward, looking for number 18, who is Honda, who's taken a position on the right hand side of midfield at the start of this match. Free kick to Japan inside their own half, I should say, about 15 yards or so. Touchline is Kamano, inside to Akudo. He rolls it back nicely. The chip forward with work to do is the left back for Cameroon, Benoit Asuikoto.
Well, I've looked at the two sides, and I've got to say Cameroon got to be the biggest team in the tournament. They are absolute giants, and I mean giants. Matip, the lad midfield who's sitting in front, 17, 21, absolutely huge. The back four is big. You've got power up front. And if you look at Japan, Honda's actually playing down the middle, and I've been impressed with him this season. I saw him play a couple of times, and I've always been impressed with him. And Japan's going to have to work very hard, but set pieces could be a problem for him.
Webber with an excellent chip forward. Ball, bit of head tennis going on at the moment. Can they get a foot on the ball here, Cameroon? It's Makoun who is putting the challenge in, but it's a free kick conceded by the Cameroon midfielder for a foul on Endo. Taken quickly and long, looking for Honda, who has taken that position up down the middle as a lone striker, supported by 2 or 3 midfielders behind him. No support there on the right hand side for the Cameroon midfielder, and it's Japan who take the ball back, and there's a Cameroon player down on the touchline on the far side of the ground. It looks like he may need some treatment.
No, it's NBA. He played a 1-2 and then he went and played the ball forward. He's trying to say he's been elbowed off the ball away. He's punctured his face. To me, I didn't see anything in it. I think there's a bit of play acting. He's got up, he's okay. Yeah, we've got benefit. He's never touched him. He's trying to con the referee. I don't like things like that.
It's Endo with the challenge, isn't it?
He's never touched his face at all. He's put his arm across his chest and he's gone down.
He's a reluctant defender, and he's somebody that likes to play in central midfield, isn't he, for Marseille? Your old club.
Yep, coming to the tournament, he said he didn't want to play in the back four. He only wanted to play midfield, but obviously Paul Le Guen's talked him round. And he probably thought he was going to play centre half. He's actually playing right back.
That's the last position we expected him to be in, isn't it? Marseille paid Rennes £10 million for his services last season. He won the French title with Marseille. His physique and style has led to comparisons with Patrick Vieira, but is stationed up right back today. Goal kick forward, Honda with the header inside, but there's Matip hooking the ball forward. Neither cyclist putting their foot on the ball and getting any possession at the moment. It really is that sort of cagey start, isn't it, as both sides settle in.
I mean, have we not saw a game? I haven't saw a game yet where it's actually started slow and it's a lot of possession. It's every game so far. We've just watched Holland before on TV, and that was lightning quick.
Honda, nice layoff to Daisuke Matsui, but Matip, the holding midfielder who covered very well, he spotted the run by Matsui. He's trying to hold Matsui off here, and he's given the free kick, the assistant referee, to Cameroon. Now, in that situation, isn't that obstruction by Matip, who was trying to just back into Matsui? All he did was run around him, didn't he? And dispossessed him, but it's the Cameroon man who's got the decision.
I think that's poor. You've got to give the foot. For me, as you say, how many times you see it as well where they let it run over the line? They don't even go over the ball, they just block you off. To me, that is an obstruction. And the only way you're going to change it is by the referee giving free kicks all the time. And
strangely, in that incident, it was nowhere near the byline, was it? Flick forward from Eto'o, cleared on the edge of the Japanese penalty area. Honda back doing some nice work. He looks excellent with his back to goals, laying off the ball to advancing midfielders. Long ball forward, looking for Honda, but that'll go straight through to the goalkeeper Suleimanu Hamidou, who's 36 years old.
I just wish they wouldn't water these pitches. They're spoiling the football, because any ball you want to play forward with a little bit of distance, as soon as it hits the surface, it's skidding 20-30 yards, and they've got to stop watering it. They've got to let the pitch just be it as it is, because it's killing the game.
Webbo challenging with the centre half Nakazawa. It's another free kick. This time to Japan, 10 yards outside their own penalty area, in their dark blue shirts, white shorts and blue socks. The blue samurai. Here's Nakazawa to the touchline, and Nagamoto put under plenty of pressure. They're closing down pretty quickly here, the Cameroonians. And you're saying there about the slick fields, Chris, what with the ball travelling through the air at altitude, which we're still at here in Bloemfontein, the Jubilani that dances around in the air, then the slick surface, what chance has any ball player got in this World Cup at the moment?
I think that's why the standard so far has not been great. I think unless you play to feet, it's like, I've got to say, it's like playing on AstroTurf. For anybody listening back home, if you play on AstroTurf, you've played football on AstroTurf, this is exactly what it's like. You've got to play to feet, unless it's a perfectly weighted pass. Anything over 20-30 yards, forget it.
There's a long ball forward from Asuikoto, who was looking for Choupo-Moting, but the ball has skipped off that slick surface again to Kawashima. And it's a goal kick to Japan here at the Free State Stadium, Group E. Of course, earlier on in the same group, Holland 2, Denmark 0. Both goal scorers from Liverpool, an Agger own goal and Dirk Kuyt. Both in the second half, so the Dutch off to a decent start. Throw into Japan on their right-hand side to be taken by Kamano, the right-back, forward towards Honda. He's beaten to it by Asuikoto. The ball bouncing around in the midfield. Scrappy stuff at the moment here. Now with Bassong, left-footed forward. Webber with an opportunity perhaps to get on the end of that one, but just as you were saying, Chris, it skipped off the surface and allowed Tulio to get back and tidy things up. Throw in left-hand side for Cameroon in their yellow shirts, green shorts. Asuikoto, 10 yards inside Japanese territory. Rolls it back, Bassong to his fellow centre-half and Kulu. Bassong gets it back, rolls it forward to Matip, the deep-lying midfielder. Plenty of zip on that pass to Makoun, who struggles to control, but he turns nicely back to Matip in the centre circle. And this is nice from Cameroon, just getting that familiarity with the ball and getting some possession.
I'm not too convinced all over the shape of play, though. That's a gun. As soon as you play it forward with pace, it's gone. I'm not too happy with the shape. They're playing in three, Webber down the middle, and to either side. You've got two players on the side, but the flat, they're playing three and they're playing up. There's no movement, they're not going inside, they're not coming wide. They're just basically playing in a little zone, which is very easy for the back four to mark. They've got to be more mobile. You know, they've got to come wide, stretch this Japanese team. They're just playing so narrow, very easy to play against.
So at the moment, really, you're looking at a 4-1-2-3.
Yep.
Long goal kick forward. Asuikoto stabs at that with his left boot. Now with the right back Kamano, who lobs the ball forward, but again too much on that. Japan yet to settle. They haven't won a World Cup game on foreign soil. This is their fourth appearance in the World Cup finals, without a win in 4 World Cup games. Their last victory was over Tunisia, the group stage in 2002 on home soil, and they made it through to the second round, of course. Ball forward, here's Webber. This is dangerous into the penalty area. Slides it across. This could be a chance if he can turn the striker on the edge of the 6-yard box, and it's cleared frantically that time by the Japanese. It was Ino in that advanced position just outside the 6-yard box. He found a seam there. Webbo. Terrific play by Sami Eto'o, though. He spotted Webbo's run. Fantastic bit of play. First time Eto'o's been in the game. Terrific pullback, just couldn't control it. And Japanese have cleared the lanes. The closest we've come to a goal so far. Flick on by Honda down the right-hand side. Matip is there, though. Sends a long, high ball forward. Bit of confusion in the Japanese defence, and they've given the ball away. Down the left-hand side. Good defending, though, that time. A good recovery by Kamano. Excellent challenge on Choupo-Moting. But Cameroon with another throw-in. Asuikoto with it. Halfway inside the Japanese half on the left-hand side. Long throw inside to Nkulo. Chased by Honda. Runner down the right-hand side is Mbia. He finds him. A flick by Mbia is well read by the defender Nagamoto. But it's a throw-in again. Mbia with it, the Marseille man, number 19. Now with Matip with a bit of room in the midfield. Rolls it to his left back, Asuikoto. He in turn goes down the left-hand side. And it's Choupo-Moting who is fouled. And this could be dangerous, as you were saying, Chris, from set pieces. They do have a clear height advantage. They're all going up. He's told Basson to come. I don't know why. Get Basson in the air. He's very good in the air. You look at the size of him going in the air. You just need a good delivery. Don't need to put that much pace on it. Just drop it in that area between where they are now, just inside the 18-yard box, between there and the 6-yard box. That's the danger area. There's a nice place to put that ball, and there's all the big guys up there to attack it. They've got options here, Cameroon. Asuikoto could swing this over left-footed. Makoun is over the ball as well. He could curl it over right-footed. towards goal. It's Makun who's waving at his teammates who are all bunched on the edge of the 18-yard area here. This is a dangerous situation for Cameroon. It's going to be the left foot of Asu Akoto. Has he overhit that? Well, the goalkeeper has misjudged it. The ball's still bouncing around in the penalty area. It's Nakazawa in the end who was fouled, and that's fortunate for Japan. It was Kawashima who completely misjudged the flight of the ball there. But Nakazawa, the captain, who was fouled, and it's going to be a free kick inside their own 6-yard box here to Cameroon. It was just overhit, wasn't it?
The goalkeeper was in no man's land. It was good delivery, and I think they've got to say Nakazawa was lucky to get that free kick because he actually ran into the Cameroon player.
Free kick taken forward. Header from Nkulo. Goes out of play. Throw into Japan on the left-hand side, who have barely been in the final third of the field in an attacking sense so far in this match. Samuel Eto'o wants to throw in on the far side, and he'll get it after a challenge with Nagamoto, the left-back. So Cameroon back in possession. They've looked the more impressive so far. Matip flicks it back to Nkulo. He'll roll it square to Basong. Basong on his left foot to his fellow Spurs defender Asu Akoto. Poor ball though forward by Asu Akoto. It's cut out. And now with Japan down the right hand side with a chance to build. Matsui. And unfortunately for him, he can't control the ball, and Asu Akoto, very well done down there, good defending, wins himself a throw-in down by the corner flag, just kicking the ball against Matsui's shin, ball out of play.
I think look at the Japanese team, and they look low on confidence. They don't have any belief when they get over the halfway line. The passes are not crisp, they're not enthusiastic. They're just doing a job at the minute. They're trying to contain Cameroon, and they're probably hoping for a break or a counter-attack. But when they have the ball over the halfway line, they're sadly lacking in ideas.
Long ball forward to Honda, and really it needs to be to his feet with those big towering centre backs marking him. Ball dropping into the centre circle now, and Japan with a chance to get their foot on the ball here, which they do through Kamano. He rolls it to the right hand side. Honda in a deep position now, the blonde haired Honda from CSKA Moscow. Flick forward, looking for the run of the fullback Kamano down the right hand side, and Asu Akoto wins a goal kick by once again kicking the ball against his opponent, and the ball rolling out of play. It's really interesting, with the Japanese mentality, and even the coach Takeshi Okada has been saying he wants his players to take more responsibility. Now in Japanese culture there is the utmost respect for authority. If you're told what to do, you just go ahead and do it almost without question. That's just part of the Japanese culture, it seems. He wants his players to think more for themselves and maybe to question him from time to time.
Well, I think the ones who've been playing in Europe, i.e. Hondas, people like that who've come into Europe, they may start doing that. That's what they need to do. As you say, whatever they say, they do by the coach, and they've got to have a little bit more opinion and think, could speak to the coach and say, why is it not happening, or, I don't want to really do this, and have a chat about it.
Honda has dropped deeper to the right hand side. He's making an excellent run forward at the moment. It's a Kubo who's gone up front as the lone striker. He is a striker by trade. And here are Japan trying to build just outside the penalty area. It's a skillfully threaded through ball that time by Abe, the holding midfielder. Well read though by the Cameroon defence. The ball cleared for a throw in right hand side to be taken by Matsui. We're just starting to get into the game a little bit. That's a dangerous throw in. Here's Honda into the penalty area, and just out-muscled in the end by those tall defenders. It was Basong who was there, and it's the goalkeeper Suleimanu Hamidou who dived on the ball. But they're just starting to creep into the game a little bit here, Japan.
They're starting to get a little bit of confidence. I saw Cotter there marking the wrong side. Honda dragged him in, spun behind him. He just couldn't get that first touch right. That was dangerous play, but they are getting a little bit more confident, Japan. They are a nice passing side, but when you're a passing side and you're lacking confidence, it just takes 2 or 3 players to hide and think, I don't want it, and your team plan, really it messes it up.
I know you like your fluidity in attacking positions. We've got Honda now, who's gone from that right midfield position back to the lone striker. Akudo has replaced him, so those two interchanging at the moment. Here's a danger for Japan. Is that a free kick on the edge of the area? Play on, says the referee. I thought Webo might have been fouled there. Tackles by 2 Japanese defenders. The clearance is made. It's Mbia, the right back, on the ball in the centre circle. He rolls it forward. This is nice from Cameroon. Webo though tackled very well by Kamano, the right back. He was just off balance slightly there, Webo. Lovely bit of play down the right hand side here for Japan with Matsui. Now with number 17, Hasabi, who's been quiet so far, looks to loft it over towards Honda, the header by Basong. And that was a clear physical battle there in the midfield, won by Webber, who brings the ball forward now, but that's a poor pass intercepted by Hasabi. He's looking to try and release AB perhaps, but well read by the Japanese backline, and they slowly build up from the back at walking pace. Tulio Tanaka on the ball. He's an interesting character from Nagoya Grampus, born in Sao Paulo. His father was Japanese-Brazilian. He moved to Japan at the age of 15, became a citizen in October 2003. Headed clear by Akulo, but only as far as Honda. But it's offside is the decision, I think, there against Honda, and it's going to be a free kick to Cameroon. Of course, Tulio scored at both ends against England in the pre-World Cup friendly, didn't he? Then involved in an incident where Drogba broke his arm for the Ivory Coast. It's been an eventful build-up for Mr. Tulio.
I think he scored an own goal in that game as well.
Long punt forward by Hamidou. Header clear by the aforementioned Tulio. Asu Akoto tussling with Matsui, rolls the ball back to his goalkeeper Hamidou. In these games, we've seen so many cagey starts. I mean, is that symptomatic, Chris, of the first round of games as teams are trying to get in? You don't want to lose your first game. It's the most obvious statement in the world, but you want to at least get a point in your opening game, don't you?
Well, I think what happens is the teams will go home will actually kick themselves because they thought if we went from the first game, because, let's be honest, these two teams are, I wouldn't say are great, other than you're not going to see one of these lift the trophy in my eyes, and you may as well go for it and see how far you can get the 3 points on the board.
Matsui gets across and it was deflected off Matip for Cameroon, and the ball just looped into the hands of Hamidou, and he's going to put the ball on the ground and give it the long punt forward.
I think Paul are going to be happy with his shape, but not the way they play. They've got a nice balance to them, but I don't think there's enough movement. They're not going to create anything. They like playing up against players. Look, if you look at the front three now, they're actually playing in a lane. Go and drag players around. Look at that, just how it is.
They're so static, aren't they?
We'll play as a 4 against the 3. We'll win the battle. We've got an extra man. They've got to come inside, bring defenders out, leave gaps, let runners from midfield. The two lads advance to Matev to make runs forward. They're just all in a zone and they're not going anywhere.
Here's Samuel Eto'o waving players forward, demanding movement from the front line. His pass is charged down by Abe, but Cameroon have it on the left-hand side with Eno. Forward to Choupo-Moting, and it's going to be a throw-in. Ungainly play by Choupo-Moting on the touchline there. The ball took a deflection off him last. Throw-in to Japan. 18th minute of the match here at the Free State Stadium in Bloemfontein. Group E, it's Japan 0, Cameroon 0. Arlo White with you this afternoon. Chris Waddle and Nigel Adderley here as well. Long, aimless ball forward from the Japanese backline, and it's going to be a throw-in to Cameroon on their left-hand side to be taken by Asu Akoto. You look back at World Cups past, 1990 of course for Cameroon, the most famous, when the indomitable Lions went all the way to the quarter-finals. What a magnificent night that was in Naples, a 3-2 victory for England. 2 late penalties, well, one late in the game and one in extra time from Gary Lineker, who held his nerve. Here's Matip, rolls the ball into the midfield now with Asu Akoto on the left-hand side. Forward looking for Choupo-Moting. Oh, it's Webbo, in fact. He allowed the ball to run through, and it's all the way through to the goalkeeper Kawashima. In 1982, the first time that they qualified, they drew all 3 games. Remember that group, Chris?
Yeah.
When Italy drew all 3, I think every game in the group ended either 0-0 or 1-1, and Italy scraped through. Cameroon were 3rd, and Italy went on to lift the trophy, didn't they, after the final against Germany?
Well, I think
West Germany.
What you've got with the problem with these two teams is at the moment is obviously somebody to create and somebody to put the ball in it. There's some tidy play, some nice passing in their own halves, both teams, but they're all static. There's no movement. I mean, look at this pass here. It's just gone straight through, out for a goal kick. We're just looking for quality. Yeah, we know Sammy Eto'o's got it, but come off the leash. He's been playing in a little pocket, in a little zone, easy to mark. And these are the players, we talk about Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo. These are the guys who get people off the seats. And unfortunately, so far this tournament, everybody's just so cautious, so scared. You want to see, Argentina, to be fair, they went and had a go, they played and Messi was off the leash. That's what you want to see. But there's too many people thinking so much about, we can't lose the first game, we can't lose the second game. We'll see what happens by the time we come to the 3rd game, and it's not good on the eye at all.
Webbo climbing, wins his header. And that's a good, strong physical challenge by Abe in the air. And Japan have the ball through Honda. Possibilities down the right-hand side. Cross comes over. And the left-footed clearance by Basong towards Webo, but he's beaten to it by Hasebe. Hasebe with a time and room to cross. And this is a chance here as the goalkeeper has spilt it. The flag is up on the near side. And all the Japanese fans on the far side of the ground actually want a penalty, because it was an untidy challenge by Hamidou as well on Honda. Japanese player down in the just outside the 6-yard box, but I think that's a foul given for against. It was on Endo against the goalkeeper, but there were possibilities there for Japan coming forward.
They're not trying to put the ball in the box. He's offside from the cross. That is the problem. That's what all appealing for. Yes, there's a tangle. He's been caught in the face slightly by Mbia. Yes, they're looking for a penalty, but it was already the linesman had already flagged for the offside. Goalkeeper made a right hash of that, by the way, and Honda couldn't pick it up, but it was already offside.
And it's Endo who's down there getting treatment at the moment for Japan. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live, the FIFA World Cup 2010. Group E this afternoon, the Free State Stadium, beautiful clear blue skies above us, sunshine bathing the stand on the opposite side of the ground. And it's Japan 0, Cameroon 0 after 21 minutes. No clear sight of goals so far. And Chris Waddle, which way can you see it going at the moment? I mean, I think Cameroon could probably, and Paul Le Guen could be happier with the way things have gone so far, but Japan just showing in the last 5 or 10 minutes that they're here to play.
Oh, they give everybody a game, Japan, we know that, but they've been leaking goals in the friendlies and they've tightened up. I think Cameroon, as I said, the way they're playing, look, the 3 strikers close together, 4 against 3, very, very difficult. That's it now, look, there's very little outlet on the wide areas. It's only the fullbacks forward, because the 3 midfielders behind the strikers are also fairly narrow as well, aren't they? They've got to have more movement, Cameroon. Yes, you know, they're well organised, well drilled, but very easy to play against. We've always got the spear man, Japan. Drag players out, drag players deep, let people run from midfield, let the fullbacks go. But as long as them 3 Cameroon strikers to play high, it's very easy to play against.
Ball wide to Asu Ikoto, who tries a bit of trickery. He's beaten himself there, and Matsui gains possession. And they're coming down the right-hand side here, Japan, but Basong will tidy up, roll the ball back to his goalkeeper Hamidou. 22.5 minutes gone. 0-0 as the Mexican wave starts here at the Free State Stadium to take you through to half-time. It's Nigel Adley.
Thank you, Arlo. And I think they'll struggle with the Mexican wave due to the number of empty seats inside the stadium. And apart from the quality of the football so far, the lack of crowd inside the Free State Stadium is the biggest disappointment here today. A capacity of 45,000. I would be surprised if there are more than 25,000 people inside the stadium as Cameroon try and move the ball forward now with Basong of Spurs, and he gives the ball away, but the pass forward for Japan from Hasebe is cut out well by Asu Ikoto, helping out his Spurs teammate. And now Cameroon have it again on the far side with Mbia further wide towards Samuel Eto'o, the captain and inspiration of Cameroon, but he then gives the ball away with 23 minutes played here on 5 Live Sport from the BBC, your World Cup station here in Group E in Bloemfontein. It's 0-0 between Japan and Cameroon. A poor game so far in a half-filled stadium. And FIFA have said this morning they will be carrying out an investigation into why there are so many empty seats inside the ground so far in the early stages of the World Cup, as Japan give away a free kick, handball against Abe just inside their own half. And I think, Chris, a number of corporate companies, the sponsors, they get the tickets, they pass them on, and the people don't turn up.
Well, it's a shame, isn't it, as well, because how many people would love to go and come to a game here today? It's a lovely day for it, and it's a shame that they can't fill the grounds.
Eto'o forward towards Webo, back towards Eto'o again, but Japan will clear the ball away. Cameroon in their yellow shirts and green shorts, playing from right to left in the first half. Another ball played into the penalty area on the far side, the right, and that's headed away by Nagamoto, one of 8 players in this Japanese team who play in the J-League at home. All 3 midfielders, Hasebe, Matsui and Honda, play in Europe. And now Cameroon have a throw-in on the far side. It's thrown short towards Makun, who anchors the midfield. High ball into the penalty area, aimed for Eno, and it's headed clear, and a free kick has been given to Japan, and this game is stop-start and very low in quality.
They've just cancelled each other out. The strengths we're looking at for Cameroon have been cancelled out, with 3 up front if you get 4 against 3. And Honda, unfortunately, is isolated on his own up front, can't get the ball to his feet. Yes, some lovely play in midfield by Japan at times. Little giving goals, little triangles, nice on the eye. But we haven't really saw any type of chance yet.
And going back to the tickets, Chris, if the tickets were cheaper and maybe more in line with the African pay packet, then maybe a few more people will go to the games.
I think it's always hard with tickets, isn't it? Because a lot of companies really, a lot of people want to come from all over the world. Do they book them, when they book them, and then do they say, yeah, we've sent so many off to this country and so many off to that country? I mean, all up to this build-up, it's all been talked about the tickets, hasn't it? Where they gone, who's got them. Up to last week before the tournament, there was thousands for sale, they said. Nobody knows what's going on.
And also as well, we are in a more natural rugby union country here. I've been up in the northeast of South Africa watching the games in Johannesburg as Japan play a long ball forward into the penalty area, but yet again the flag is up for offside there against Matsui, breaking for midfield, and that will be a Cameroon free kick. And the games in Johannesburg and Pretoria I've seen so far have been attended by a good number of locals, and that is more natural football country in South Africa, if you like. Here in the heart of South Africa in Bloemfontein, the Cheetahs, the rugby union and also the cricket in the summer are the main sports, and that's really reflected in the crowd we have here today. Although South Africa do play their final group game in the first round against the French here next week, and I would imagine the ground will be filled then as Japan play a long ball forward again down the centre, looking for the run of Honda, but the stronger, more physical, more imposing Cameroon team clear the ball away. A long ball forward by Asu Akoto, and surprise, surprise, the flag is up for offside against Pierre Weber.
Well, I've run out of things to say now. I've got to say something.
Talk about the weather.
Midfield. I'll tell you what. Why have they got the floodlights on? Why have they got the floodlights on?
At every ground so far, I've done the afternoon kickoffs. It's been a lovely sunny day as we have not a cloud in the sky, and the lights have been on since 1 o'clock this afternoon. It's a FIFA requisite, I would imagine, as a ball is played forward again for Cameroon by Asu Akoto, overhit, and it's gone out for a throw-in to the Japanese, who are yet to win on foreign soil in the World Cup. All of their victories came as co-hosts in 2002 when they reached the second round. Kamano plays it forward now, and a good ball wide to this near side, and Kasuki Honga, high ball into the penalty area, headed away at the near post by Matip, and that will be a throw into Japan midway inside the Cameroon half down this near side, the Japanese left. Honda again is beaten to it a second time though by Ino, but does win a throw in for Japan. 27 minutes played here on 5 Live Sport, the World Cup station, and it's goalless here in Bloemfontein in Group E. Honda finding space down the right for Japan, scoops a ball into the penalty area, gathered by Suleimanu at the near post, and the ball had gone behind anyway.
Well, I think Japan's come a long way, haven't they, in the world of football over the last few years, and they are getting better, but what they would love to have a top-class striker. If they had a top-class striker, then you may see a very, very effective side. They're well organised, they're technically very good, but when they get in the final third, they just need that bit of quality, which a lot of teams need, but that's what Japan's really lacking.
And Cameroon have given the ball away, and Endo plays it forward on the far side towards Matsui, but the flag was up for offside midway inside the Cameroon half, and the African team here will have a free kick. And I saw the local headline in one of the Johannesburg papers on the way here today, and following that Ghana win, it said, "It's one for Africa." And you do get the feeling whenever an African team plays, everybody else in the continent is playing behind them. There are more Cameroon supporters inside the stadium today. They're waving their vuvuzelas away to our left-hand side above their heads as Cameroon have to defend here. A ball played forward by Honda again, arced into the penalty area, and you can see the frustration there, Chris, because nobody made the run, because, as you say, they have no cutting edge.
No, they haven't. Honda's a nice player. He's learning his trade in Moscow, and he has got better, but a long way off top draw here. And MB's gone down again. He tried to get somebody booked earlier, and he did slightly catch him. He's made a meal of it again. I don't know if MB's trying to get people sent off or booked already. Look, there's a slight, we've got the benefit of the moment.
Yeah.
There's a slight touch on his above his thigh, nothing major, and look, he's fine.
Yeah, just been brushed by a shoelace there as a long ball is played forward over the top for Cameroon, controlled by Webo. Eto'o has been very quiet so far, positioned wide on the far side, the Cameroon right, but they try and move the ball forward with Mbia again, but he's forced backwards towards his own goal, and Nkulu, who plays for Monaco in the French league, plays it forward now. They do have a galaxy of talent available for Paul Le Guen. There are players on the pitch today, Cameroon, who play in Serie A, La Liga, the Premier League and the Bundesliga, but at the moment they look a team who are nothing like the sum of their parts, but they've won a free kick down this near side. A foul on Asu Okoto by Matsui, and Cameroon will try and pump a long ball into the penalty area, and with their height and with their overall physique, they've got to get the ball in there with quality and try and make sure the likes of Eto'o can capitalise. Asu Okoto high in towards the far post, looking for Weibo. The goalkeeper's dropped the ball inside the penalty area, and he's gone down clutching his chest. Eto'o couldn't fasten onto the loose ball, and it's a throw into Cameroon on the far side. And I would imagine there that so-called injury, in inverted commas, maybe to hide some embarrassment.
I tell you what, it was a fantastic catch. Unfortunately, he landed on the floor and the ball bounces out of his hand. It's a terrific catch, but the impact as he lands, he has to drop it just as well as defender was.
Nagamoto was there to hook the ball away.
Just as well. But
Eto'o would have had an open goal.
But he just made a slight mess as he landed. Lad, he really hit the ground hard.
Kawashima saved that penalty against England in that World Cup warm-up game in Austria, one of several games that Japan lost before the competition. Takeshi Okada, their coach, chose to play a number of difficult teams at the Ivory Coast, England, South Korea and Serbia, and they lost all of those games. Scusa conceding only 9 goals and only managing 1 in the process, which was a disappointing warm-up for them. And there was even talk the coach might quit after losing to South Korea, because if you're Japanese, you don't lose to them. And we found that in the World Cup in 2002.
They've had a horrific time, haven't they? I know they qualify, and let's be honest, they're in an easy group for Japan, because they are technically quite good. As the ball comes in,
high ball into the penalty area, aim for Webo again, and it's over the head of both him and Kimono and out for a throw-in.
They're in a group where you do fancy them, not every year. You can see Japan qualifying for the next quite a few because they've got a decent production line now. They've got their league up and running, which is very good. They've very good crowds, and you can see Japan growing on it. But it's like anything, you keep coaching and coaching, but every player they seem to have is the same. They've got to somehow find somewhere how you can coach a bit of flair, a dribbler, someone who can put the ball in there, a clever player up front, and that's what they're lacking.
31 minutes played here in Bloemfontein. Still a lovely sunny late afternoon here. There's a splash of sunlight across the upper tier of the stand on the far side, which has groups of supporters from both countries here watching their teams play. The blue of Japan and the red, yellow and green of Cameroon. A few South African shirts also mixed in there as well. We have mainly Japanese flags draped over the hoardings here around that upper tier. It's a two-tiered stand which wraps around 3 sides of this ground, with this newly developed stand on this near side. As Japan move it forward now, a powerful run by Kamano towards the edge of the penalty area, but he's blocked by Matip. But Japan have it back again now with Matsui. High ball towards the far post. It goes all the way across to the far side, the left, where it's controlled and played back into the penalty area. A couple of deflections there as Cameroon try and clear, and as Matsui tried to fasten onto it at the far post, it's cleared away by Asu Okoto.
At least they're putting the ball in the box with a little bit of quality. That was 2 decent crosses, wasn't it? They do cause problems when they get it where they're not frightened to put it in there. As I said, the problem they've got, they need somebody in there who can anticipate the chance and gamble. They haven't got it.
Well, they do have this youngster they're very excited about, who's scored plenty of goals, Okubu, but he's playing wide on the far side, the left so far in this game. He helped Wolfsburg to win the German title on loan last year from Kobe, and he's a youngster who's shown a good deal of promise. And they've got Okazaki on the bench as well, the main striker. But rather strangely, he and Nakamura are not playing here today in the starting 11, as a long ball is played forward for Japan again, and it's cleared away on the far side by Cameroon, and Bia with the challenge, and it will be a throw into the Japanese, taken quickly to Honda. 33 minutes play, goalless here in Bloemfontein on 5 Live Sport, as Samuel Eto'o clears away for Cameroon again in the right back position on the far side, rather summing up the game so far. Tulio's long ball forward for Japan, way overhit and behind for a goal kick.
Well, they've had no joy with that. I don't know why they keep persisting with it. They've just got an easy.
I don't know why anyone does at the World Cup.
Well, every ball goes through, skids out. I don't know what. Why are the coaches and people saying, we can't get away with this pass. You've got to play to feet. You've got to get it wide.
Matsui plays it back towards Kamano, down this near side, back towards Matsui again, a low ball into the penalty area, partially headed away by Basong, and now Cameroon will try and clear on the far side, their right, with Samuel Eto'o. A run down the right hand side, options left and right, he comes in field, poke forward towards Makoun, into the penalty area looking for Matip. It's hacked away by the goalkeeper Kawashima, under no real pressure, and now Cameroon try and play it back towards the edge of the penalty area, but there's a foul there on this near side, by Eno, and that will be a free kick to Japan midway inside their own half.
Well, a little bit promising, wasn't it? They got the edge of the box and then ran out of ideas again. Goalkeeper made a hash of the clearance, but they've worked themselves yet another free. It just seems to be every attack either is offside or a free kick.
A real lack of cohesion in this game as the Cameroon supporters on their feet behind the goal away to our left-hand side. You'll hear Chris there groan. I won't bother to ask you to comment on that long ball played forward. 2 bounces out on the far side for a goal kick to Cameroon. But at least we have some St George's flags here today, Chris. At every game so far I've been to, there's some England fans at every single game.
Yeah, it's always every stadium you see one, doesn't you? Every game I go to now, I look and I always see one.
There's even a Scottish solitaire on the far side as well, with a Tartan Army, Samurai Blue, supporting Japan, written across it. And outside Ellis Park on Saturday, following the Argentina game, I saw 4 guys dressed in kilts with Scotland shirts. So David Moyes was delighted, and maybe they bought their tickets before Scotland were knocked out. 35 minutes played here, still goalless in Bloemfontein, between Japan and Cameroon. Earlier on today, Holland in this group beat Denmark by 2-0 in Soccer City. Asu Okoto with a long throw into the penalty area. A poor clearance. He gets it back down the left-hand side. Clipped into the penalty area, but Japan will just about smuggle the ball away as far as Matip, who drives forward now. Helped out by Eno for Cameroon, but the yellow shirts are crowded out, and eventually Eno fouls Nagamoto, and that will be a free kick to Japan.
Well, it was a good ball in by Okoto, wasn't it? Unfortunately, again, looking for that player who can get a hold of it. Sammy Eto'o's been playing right side, high up the field on that right wing, hardly been in the game. He's getting his times in midfield. There's that many bodies. It's like a scrum. I know it's rugby country, this, but
yeah, that was more suited for the Cheetahs rather than World Cup football. We played nearly 37 minutes here, and looking at the stats, both teams have had 1 single shot so far, and the only one on target came from Japan very early on. Here's Honda, infield again towards Matsui, but a poor ball. Good anticipation by Asu Okoto, charging forward now for Cameroon. Down the left-hand side, Eto'o waits inside the penalty area. The challenge comes across, a poor first touch there in the end from Asu Okoto. And Nakazawa comes in with a sliding challenge, winning his 106th cap here today for Cameroon. And that will be a throw-in for the Africans. Into the penalty area. The shot will come in on the edge of the penalty area from Eno. A shot on target, Chris.
Hey.
And it's saved by Kawashima.
I'm not going to say it was a great effort, no, that.
It was an effort.
It hit the target, I'll give him that. No power, comfortable save.
Moting with the lay back, and the shot coming in from Eno. He's only scored 1 goal for his country so far. He plays for Ajax in the Dutch league, but he came through their academy based in Cape Town, down in the south of South Africa, so he'll be very familiar with the surroundings he's in at the moment. As Japan try and move the ball forward now, midway inside the Cameroon half with Endo. Wide to this near side, and Matsui, who sweeps inside beyond the challenge of Asu Okoto. High ball to the near post, a real chance, and Japan have taken the lead. Keisuke Honda with a far post finish. The Samurai Blue are delighted here in Bloemfontein, and that's a real jolt to Cameroon. Japan lead by 1-0.
Well, as I said, they're not frightened to put the ball in the box. Matsui put a terrific ball in. All the yellow shirts went for the same ball. Honda, probably the cleverest player on the pitch so far, just pulled off the back, and give him credit. What a fantastic first touch, and what a lovely finish. Honda has actually kick-started this game.
Oh dear. You've had that written down, haven't you? Since the draw. Anyway, thank goodness something's happened. Honda has scored for Japan, and they lead here by 1-0 on 5 Live Sport. 38 minutes played, and Cameroon came into this game as strong favourites. Many people were thinking about a 2 or 3 goal victory, setting up an important game against Denmark in Pretoria next Saturday, but now they have to come out and play. They've got to put Eto'o down the centre surely as well.
It's so rigid. You know when you always associate, the Cameroon team we played in 1990, they played off the cuff football, and it was impossible to mark people. We didn't know what they were going to do. They were technically unbelievable at times, and that's all gone out the window. They're all playing Europe, they're all organised, they've lost that a bit of ability and flair. Players who used to pick the ball up and go past you, you're just marvellous with the footwork. Now they play in Europe, they're organised, they get it, they pass it, they move. They're like every other team now, and it just doesn't work for them, I don't think.
A surprise developing here in Bloemfontein. Japan, who've never won a World Cup game on foreign soil, lead Cameroon here by 1-0, and their coach Takeshi Okada, who was predicting his team would reach the semi-finals, which may be rather optimistic in what we've seen so far, is out on the edge of his technical area. Paul Le Guen, the Frenchman in charge of Cameroon, stands there, arms folded, and he must be very disappointed with what his team has produced so far. Epitomised there as Weibo tries to play it back towards Asuakoto down this near side. A simple layoff into touch, and that will be a throw into Japan. Look at the replay. Two Cameroon players went for the same ball at the near post. Eto wasn't tracking back, and that's why Honda had so much space.
So they all dived it. Mbia shouldn't have went to attack the ball. You've got two big centre halves. Why is Mbia come inside to try and head it? Stay with Honda. I mean, it's great moving by Honda. He just pulled off the back of them. Fantastic. And give the lad credit. That was a fantastic finish.
Keisuke Honda of CSKA Moscow, a man with Champions League experience this season, coming to the fore for Japan. And he's on the ball now, down this near side, the right. And Cameroon have not really recovered from the shock of conceding that goal. 5 minutes to play in the first half here on 5 Live Sport. In Group E in Bloemfontein, it's Japan 1, Cameroon 0, and Cameroon's quality there again is dreadful. A ball down the line from Asuakoto, miscontrolled by Weibo, and it's a throw into the Japanese.
Now, coming into this tournament, Hazel, I've got to say, the only team I thought would have a chance, and they were a hard group, had a good chance, a reasonable chance of getting out their group into the second round, was Ghana. They're in a hard group, I think, and I didn't think any other African team would qualify for the second round.
And having seen Ghana yesterday, they were the better team against Serbia, but yet again, Serbia have turned up at a World Cup and not turned up.
Well, you know what you're going to get. I did fancy Serbia as an outside team to go a long way in this tournament. They're still capable of getting results because they've got that, they have got terrific players, Serbia, but it's going to be hard for them because their next game's Germany.
Nkulu with a long ball forward for Cameroon into the penalty area, and it's cleared away by Hasebe. High into the blue skies here in Bloemfontein. We're in a sporting centre on the outskirts of the city. Behind the main stand here we have the cricket ground, a regular venue for one-day internationals for England when they come on tours here. And we can see the lights opposite us from the athletic stadium, and that's where Zola Budd came to prominence around 25 years ago before she became a British citizen and competed in the Olympics. A long ball played forward again, and a free kick's been given. A challenge coming in, a marginal challenge from Akubu, and a free kick to Cameroon midway inside their own half. And looking to quicken the pace here. Makoun wide to the far side, and Eto back towards Makoun again, and a good ball laid down the line, and Beer with a high ball into the penalty area, but it's headed away by Tulio at the near post, and a missed kick there from Abuku almost gives it back to Eto on the edge of the penalty area. But you can see the urgency now from Cameroon. I would imagine they'll have a fairly stern talking to from Paul Le Guen at half-time.
Well, if I was Paul Le Guen, I'd be looking at the system. You've got to look at this team, Japan, who've been getting beat off everybody, haven't they? They've been leaking goals. So many, the 2 or 3 of them have been own goals, but they've been under pressure. Apart from a half decent shot, there was nothing about it. It was an easy save. What have they troubled this Japanese team? Nothing. And Japan just grew more and more in confidence, and they're passing the ball very, very well.
Akubu will chase on the far side, but the ball beats him into touch, and that will be a throw-in. Another Japanese player is down. It's the goal scorer Honda, but our Portuguese referee allows play to go on here, but he was clouted on the back of the head there by Nicholas Nkulu. But Honda is back on his feet, and Cameroon are back on the ball, trailing here by goal to nil in Bloemfontein. A neat turn down this near side by Choupo-Moting, but he finds a teammate, Asuakoto, who is then fouled by Matsui, and that will be a free kick to Cameroon.
That's his last chance as well, because he's done 2 on Ikoto already, and that is deliberate. The referee's just said, 1 more, and you're getting the card.
Just a lift of the leg there by Matsui, but he knew what he was doing, and it's a free kick to Cameroon, down this near side there left. The Vuvuzelas, which were momentarily silenced, are now droning around this stadium again. The ball is played high into the penalty area. It was flicked on by Choupo-Moting.
That was a corner for me.
Yeah, according to the referee.
Well, he's given a goal kick to the referee. The linesman didn't put his flag up. There you are, it just comes off the...
Tulio.
Yep, just comes off his head, and that is a corner, which the official didn't spot.
Goal kick to Japan, away to our right-hand side here on 5 Live Sport. Coming up later on this evening, the holders Italy begin their defence in Cape Town against Paraguay. Full commentary coming up on 5 Live, followed by our World Cup Express with Mark Chapman and Dave Vitti between 9 and 10:30. And coming up with Arlo White at the end of this game, between 5 and 5:30 UK time, we'll be hearing from David Moyes and Danny Baker. An eclectic mix from Johannesburg, looking ahead to what's happening later on in the World Cup this week, as Eto'o has the ball now for Cameroon into the penalty area for Weber, who goes down with his back to goal looking for a penalty. Tulio was already saying to the referee there was no challenge and Japan will clear up towards the halfway line. Akubu, though, is beaten to it by Mbia, who then can't believe it as a free kick is given to Japan just inside their own half, and there'll be 2 minutes of added time.
Well, they're just going to take their time, aren't they? There's no rush. You've got the lead, run the clock down, leave it, let somebody else take it again. The referee's going to have a quick word with them, yes, but every team does the same, rightly so. You're winning the game, you're coming to half time, but Paul Le Guen's going to have to sort it out. I wouldn't be surprised if we made a substitution or a couple, because it's just not working, this system. Very easy to play against.
Tulio with the free kick down the line, far side, over the head of Akubu, and it's gone out for a throw into Cameroon. And we're 30 seconds into that injury time at the end of the first half here. The shadow just beginning to creep across that stand on the far side. We can still just about see some sunlight inside this stadium. It's been another cloudless sky, warm day. Oh, a mistake there by Mbia on the far side as he tries to control in the right back position, quickly closed down, and it's a throw into Cameroon.
Terrific legwork by Matsua. He's run right across the field from his right hand side to put him under pressure. He knows the referee's going to blow any second. Keep the ball in the other half.
Long ball played forward now by Cameroon. A free kick's been given, a push in the back on Choupo-Moting by Kamano, and Cameroon may have one final chance here to pump a high ball into the Japanese penalty area, although they've been very, very impotent so far in the opening 45 minutes. And McCoon almost gives the ball away there, and it's back to Bassong. A long ball played forward from him towards the edge of the penalty area, and that's the problem, as Choupo-Moting doesn't control the long ball forward first time, so it skips away off the turf out for a throw-in.
You know, a lot of these players, when we got that book with all the players in the description and tells you the history of them, you read every one and you think, wow, they must be fantastic footballers. And I tell you what, whoever writes them books, they want to look at these games, because I haven't seen anything on this pitch today apart from Honda's, I think, is a very clever player, and that's what benefit we're playing in Europe in my eyes. They've got some nice little players, Japan, who give and go, technically very good. But when you read the manual, some of these players, I'm expecting Maradona and Pele, and everybody seems to be as good as Lionel Messi in this book.
But have you ever seen a DVD of a bad player? Tulio with the free kick down the line, and the half-time whistle goes, and the Japanese supporters, clad in their blue shirts on the far side, rise to acclaim their team because they lead here in Bloemfontein. It's been a desperately poor game, but they got the goal 7 minutes before half-time. The shot at the far post from Keisuke Honda, one piece of quality in dross, Chris.
Well, I've got to say, it's been a very, very poor game. I'll give Japan credit, the only team who tried to play, decent movement, and in Honda up front, they have got somebody who put the ball in net, yes, and he's been very lively. But as for Cameroon, will the real Cameroon please come out the second half, because they were absolutely dreadful.
After the delight for Ghana yesterday, bitter disappointment for Cameroon so far. At half-time, Japan lead by 1-0.
Japan about to get us back underway. The referee today, Olegario Benkarenka from Portugal, whistle in mouth in his orange jersey, black shorts, just waiting for the signal from the touchline to get us back underway. Matsui is over this, jogging on the spot. 1-0 Japan lead at the break in their fourth appearance in the World Cup finals. They came second to Australia in Asian qualifying. They were the first to qualify from that group. After a victory over Uzbekistan, they sealed qualification with 2 games to go. And having been beaten by Australia, you wonder, having seen their performance against Germany, just what that means for Japan. Long ball forward, taken comfortably by Hamidou, the 36-year-old goalkeeper, who swings a throw out to the left-hand side to Asu Ikoto. Now with Matip, the tall, lanky holding midfielder. McCoon playing the ball nicely around the back four into the midfield at the moment. Cameroon in their yellow shirts, green shorts, green socks, attacking the goal to our right-hand side. Against Japan in blue shirts, white shorts and blue socks. Ball with Matip on the far side, the left, trying to get to the byline. Does he get a crossover? Yes, he does. Looking towards Eto'o on the far side. It's Nagamoto who concedes the corner. So an early opportunity here for Cameroon to perhaps draw level from a set piece.
Matip left the midfield and he went down the left. Terrific skill. He's a very tall guy, very cross his left foot, and this is the first corner of the game.
That's remarkable, isn't it? It's going to be taken by Makoun, right-footed on the Cameroon right. He'll swing this one out. All the tall men are up there. Bassong's in there and Kula's in there, the centre halves. Lots of jostling in the penalty area. Here comes Makoun, swings it over, plenty of flight on that towards the far post. Matip, and it's a free kick for a push in the back against the Japanese defender by Matip, and the danger is averted. Matip plays for Schalke in Germany. Only 4 caps. He's only 18 years old. He was born in Bochum in Germany. His mum's German, his father's from Cameroon. Made his Bundesliga debut against Bayern Munich in November and scored. And after interest from the German FA, Matip ignored a call-up to the Africa Cup of Nations by Cameroon, but later relented, decided to play for the nation of his father's birth. Made his debut against Italy in March. Ball forward from Abe, too much on that pass as Japan were trying to build down the right-hand side. Throw in to be taken by Asu Ikoto. Just one shaft of sunlight still visible on the far side of the ground. The omnipresent hum of the vuvuzelas around the Free State Stadium. Here's an opportunity for Japan in the penalty area. And actually the attacker Okudo has been forced out. Looking to take on Mbia. Does well on the byline. And it's a free kick just on the corner of the penalty area where it meets the byline. It was a physical challenge by Mbia. He bundled Okudo off the ball. And this is a dangerous set-piece opportunity for Japan. It wasn't far outside the penalty area.
I'll tell you what, by the time he goes to ground, isn't it? There's the push. Keeps going. Keep your feet. Keep your feet. Just, it must be half a yard outside the 18-yard line.
The referee's gone for the first contact. Had he not given it for that, the second contact was definitely inside the penalty area. Endo will take this one then. It's almost like a hockey short corner. 2-man wall just outside the 6-yard box. Not a great deal of height to aim for, apart from the centre halves here. And it's a poor free kick that's headed away by the wall. Lofted back into the penalty area. Long punt clear. And some chasing to do as Matip, the furthest man forward for Cameroon. In fact, it's Choupo-Moting, another German-born player who plays for Hamburg. And it's a throw-in on the right-hand side to Cameroon, level with the edge of the penalty area. Samuel Eto'o trots over. He backheels the ball to Mbia, who gave away that free kick just a few moments ago. Throws it in to Choupo-Moting, edge of the penalty area. Kubo is back, defending, left-footed, concedes another throw-in, similar position to before. Mbia wants to give the ball to Eto'o. Instead he goes inside to Makoun. Now with Eto'o back into the defender who's one of the attackers. Lovely piece of skill. That was a drag of the shirt. Eto'o's in the penalty area. Here's a chance for Cameroon, and it's just over the bar. A side-footed effort that was always curling away from goal by Choupo-Moting, but that was Cameroon's best moment of the match. Good refereeing as well. He could have blown up for the foul on Eto'o. It was a clear tug of his shirt, and as he rolled the ball back to Choupo-Moting, he went for precision, side-footing it into the opposite top corner of the net, got underneath it, over the bar.
Well, it's the first we've seen of him. He could easily have gone down and probably got the lad booked, to be fair, but he's kept his feet, and he's had a poor game to Moting. I'm looking at him, keep waiting for him to show something. Hasn't shown anything yet, and I wouldn't be surprised the next 10-15 if he hasn't been replaced.
He was one of the players that only got clearance very late from FIFA to play in the World Cup. He played 4 times for Germany's under-21s. He was only cleared in May. 6'3", he's on loan at Nuremberg from Hamburg. And Japan get possession in the midfield. Endo rolling the ball to Hasebe, now wide to the right back, Kimono. Back into Hasebe from Wolfsburg. Nice build-up play down the right-hand side this for Japan. Run forward is from Matsui, an industrious forward player. Seemed to trip himself up slightly there. And somewhat embarrassingly with his head down concedes a goal kick.
You know what you look like there? You know them escalators when you're in the airport and you come to the end of it
and you don't time it right.
And you don't time it right and you fall forward, you're trying to keep your feet.
Your passport's flying out your pocket, your hand luggage is going on the floor. Here come Cameroon again then with Nkulo across the back 4 to Bassong, of course from Spurs. Long ball forward, looking towards Choupo-Moting and Webo, number 15, who gets possession. Corner of the penalty area. Nice ball, slid back, now into the penalty area looking for Choupo-Moting. Headed clear by Tulio though. A lot more pace and urgency at the start of the second half. Most of the first half was played at walking pace, and Honda's won a free kick for Japan on the right hand side.
I tell you what, he's a handful. He's a strong boy. I tell you what, he gets his back and he backs into you, and he's very strong, and he's led the lane absolutely brilliant today against two really big strong centre halves.
He's got the ball again, rolls it to Hasebe. Hasebe now wide to Matsui. Only one to aim for in the penalty area. They're standing off here, aren't they, Cameroon? Chance on the edge of the penalty area perhaps to get a crossing for Honda, and he concedes a free kick. He's not happy about it. You don't see a great deal of gesticulation from the Japanese players when they have decisions given against them. And we're going back to the European players. That's probably the influence there, because he wasn't happy with that decision, Keisuke Honda, the goal scorer. And here come Cameroon. Eto'o rolls the ball back to Makoun, just inside the Japanese half of the field, and a free kick conceded by Abe, the holding midfielder for Japan. Quickly taken. Here's Eto'o, bit of space, rolls it in to Choupo-Moting, 5 yards outside the penalty area, gets a shot in, it's blocked by the Japan captain Nakazawa, and now it's Hasebe in a right back position, rolls it into the right back, who is Kamano. They look more comfortable and confident in possession here, Japan, but as I say that, the commentator's curse strikes, and it's an errant ball out for a throw-in.
You've got to say, they don't panic, do they? They believe in the ability, they stick the ball at your feet with a bit of pace, crisp, and they're confident in their technique.
More enterprise about this game in the second half so far. Makoun, Cameroon know they need to get back into this, trailing 1-0. You're listening to 5 Live at the World Cup 2010, this Group E match in Bloemfontein at the Free State Stadium. Japan 1, Cameroon 0. The goal from Keisuke Honda after 39 minutes, and we're almost 8 minutes into the second half. The vuvuzelas continue. I don't know whether you noticed our guest house across the road, Chris. There is a rack outside where one can hang one's vuvuzela outside. I don't know whether you've seen that so far. Cross comes in from Cameroon. It's a dangerous one. In the penalty areas, Webo with the header, number 15, but it flashes wide, a good 4 or 5 yards wide of Karashima's goal, and it's going to be a goal kick.
Well, it's very much what we saw. Probably they're playing a little bit quicker, if anything, Cameroon. They all obviously realise they're a goal down and they're having a bit of a go, but they're so predictable in what they do, and every time they've come forward, you've got to see Japan have picked it off, and then they've kept the ball, little triangles, used it very, very well.
Kawashima thuds his gloves together. In all grey, the Japan goalkeeper. Long kick forward. Honda brings it down. Eventually at the second attempt, and slides a lovely ball into the right back. Kamano, who's coming forward. Matsui's free on the right hand side. They can't work the ball out to him though, Japan. And it's Cameroon who, through the captain Eto'o, bring the ball clear, but once again an errant pass, that time from Makoun, looking for the run of the right back, and Mbia down the right hand side, overhits it, and the ball out for a throw-in. Interestingly, look at this Cameroon system with the three up front, who are too static, as you pointed out in the first half, Chris. There isn't a great deal of width in this side. It relies completely on the fullbacks, Asu Ikotu and Mbia, to get forward, because the three other central midfielders are so narrow as well, aren't they? So where's the width going to come from, I wonder, as Matip takes possession, midfield. Japan win it back through Hasebe. Some room here for Matsui on the right hand side, cuts inside, very skillful play by Matsui. In support is the right back for Japan, but Matsui twisting and turning, and eventually rolls the ball back nicely to Endo. Endo back to Hasebe, now with Matsui again, swings the ball in. It's too much on that for Honda though, and the ball trickles out. Will it be a throw-in or a goal kick? It's going to be a goal kick.
Good play again. Matsui's had an excellent game, hasn't he? When you look at the distance, he was in the lead for most distance he'd run in the first half, and he's used the ball ever so well, and he's always been a threat down that right hand side.
Japan finished bottom of their group in 2006. They lost 3-1 to Australia in the opening match when the Socceroos scored 3 very late goals. Then followed a 0-0 draw with Croatia and a 4-1 defeat to Brazil in Kaiserslautern. They took the lead in that game. Tamada with the goal, an excellent left-footed finish into the top corner. Then Ronaldo scored twice to surpass first Pelé and then join level with Gerd Müller on 14 World Cup goals. The joint record holder at that time. He went on to better it with his 15th goal against Ghana in the second round. So an unhappy World Cup for Japan in 2006. Their best performance 2002 when they reached the second round on home soil. They lost to Turkey 1-0, who of course went on to the semi-finals where they lost to Brazil. Now here's Honda. Nice little short pass. Kubo on the left-hand side. He just doesn't get the return from Keisuke Honda.
I'd like to see Honda play off the striker. You know, on the whole, just, you know, the Bergkamp role, whatever you want to talk, class it as. I thought he'd be excellent because he's always available. His touch and awareness, fantastic.
But it's interesting, there's only one actual out-and-out striker on the field for Japan, and he's playing on the left-hand side, Kubo. Matip rolls the ball out to the left-hand side to Chipumoti. Cuts inside, goes across the penalty area. Low drive comes in, but it's wide of the near post. And it's another goal kick to Japan.
Well, if I was Paul Le Guen, I'd give it another 5-10, and I would try and look at Chipumoti, and I would take off Webb on me. I would look at it and think
a radical double switch, Chris.
I would. Well, it's not working, is it? Let's be honest. And even bring on someone in the midfield who can see a pass and make something happen, because it's so easy for Japan to play against.
Hear the sound of the drums away to our left-hand side. We're in the top tier of a redeveloped stand here at the Free State Stadium. And to our right, huge swathes of Cameroon fans, but they look a little sedate at the moment. They need some excitement, some inspiration from their side. One or two up dancing, but by and large not been inspired by what they've seen. Japan on the attack, left-hand side. The ball slid through by Matsui, looking for the forward run of Nagamoto, the left-back, but it's out. A quickly taken goal kick. Now he's Eto with some space, but he miscontrols. You could argue the ball was slightly overhit by McCoon, but it's scrappy, it's untidy from Cameroon, and it's a throw-in on the left to Japan.
What I've saw so far, you know, I've described the pitches of what I've saw so far as AstroTurf pitches. There's a water them, ball skids, you've got to play to feet. It's suiting Japan, because if you've got to say about Japan, the one thing they're a nice team who play to feet, and it's suiting the teams in the tournament so far, I think, who can move the ball very well. Germany moved it very well. Holland, we know, are technically very good. They can play to feet.
On the floor.
On the floor, yeah. Get it to feet. The ones who are playing space all the time are getting no joy.
Eto looking urgent. Leaves this throw in to Mbia, the Cameroon right back. Back to Nkulo. Across the back four to Basong. Into Matip, centre circle, just inside the Japanese half. Not a tremendous amount of option there for Matip, and he just rolls it back to Nkulo. 1-0 Japan lead, Group E. Long ball forward, corner of the penalty area. Asuakoto has got forward there. He's challenged by the Japanese right back, and between them, two defenders managed to dispossess Asuakoto. It's Kamano who was there, and he brings the ball forward now. Asuakoto with some work to do to get back. He does very well. The French-born Spurs left back, and it's Kubo who wins a free kick for Japan. Just about 10 yards inside their own half on the right-hand side. Some wispy grey cloud above us, some orange skies above the second tier of the stand on the far side of the ground. The floodlights just starting to be the predominant light here. Late afternoon, 5:15 or thereabouts here in Bloemfontein at Free State Stadium. The official attendance has been announced. It's 30,620 in a 45,000 capacity stadium. Left-hand side for Japan is Nagamoto, who's having a go at Mbia here. Mbia's strong, backs into Nagamoto, releases the ball out to Eto, who's bundled off the ball, and that'll be a free kick to Cameroon. Quickly taken by Mbia, swings the ball out. It's a tricky ball to deal with on the far side of the ground for Chipumoti, but he does very well. Back to Asuakoto, long ball this time, looking to Webo. Meet and drink that to Tulio, the tall Japan centre-half, who's had an excellent night so far. Abe forward, ball dropped off by Honda, but intercepted by Matip. Now Cameroon with a chance to break. Endo, wide to Chipumoti on the left-hand side. Short pass to Endo. Again, they lose possession of the ball. And they've won a free kick as well, Japan. Sloppy play that by Endo, wasn't it?
They're going to bring Emana on, number 10, to Cameroon. Striker. They've got to change it. It's just not working. Get Sammy Eto down the middle as well. Get Webo off. Or get Chipumoti off. Either two of them two can come off. It's just not happening for Cameroon with them two.
Free kick taken by Tulio for Japan. Looking towards Matsui. And it's a free kick against Matsui. I think the handball perhaps there. And that could give us time for the substitution to be made. Akili Amana getting instructions from Paul Le Guen, wearing a navy blue suit down in the technical area. He's got yellow boots on as well, Amana, about to enter the action here. And they need a spark here, Cameroon, trailing by 1-0 at the moment. Makoun in the midfield, rolls it forward to Eto'o, and there's a foul in his back by Nagamoto. So a free kick here, halfway inside the Japanese half. Makoun is over it, Eto'o leaves it for him. Basong is marching forward, and Kulo, his fellow centre-half, has stayed back in the centre circle. But when you're playing poorly and you lack fluidity, set pieces are perhaps where you have your best chance of scoring goals.
We know Ikoto can score, strike the ball very well, but it looks like he's going to chip this over the back. Really, he should be running up and having a go at that distance, the way this ball travels.
He does chip it into the penalty area, and it's headed behind for a goal kick by the Japan captain, Nakazawa. Only one goal for Asu Ikoto last season for Spurs. It was spectacular on the opening day of the season, wasn't it? From fully 30 yards against Liverpool. And it's Asu Ikoto who trots over to take this corner. Left-footed, he'll swing it in towards Kawashima's goal. 1-0 to Japan. Second half here at the Free State Stadium. 17 minutes gone in the second half. It swung in, half a glove on that by Kawashima. He doesn't look convincing coming out for crosses. And there's a throw-in, I think, on the far side to Cameroon, but there's a Japanese player down. There's been a clash of heads in the penalty area. Let's have a look at that. Maybe Tulio has taken a blow, actually, I think, from his own goalkeeper, hasn't he? From Kawashima. He's got the glove maybe in the temple. Well, actually, he's clutching the top of his head.
He doesn't need to come with the crosses. You know, let's be honest. What Japan have got is two centre-halves. They're not afraid to go and attack the ball and head it, and they've done it very well today. Why he keeps coming off his line for these crosses, I just don't know. Here's the substitution. 21 off, 10 on.
So it is Matip who leaves us. It's an attacking move, as you would expect from Le Guen. The holding midfielder Matip leaves the action, and on comes Imana, Akili Imana, a forward wearing number 10. Tulio's back up and in the action. Throw in, comes into the penalty area. There's a flick on. Danger here for Japan. The header clear from Okubo. Foot was raised that time by the Cameroon striker Webo, and it is going to be a free kick to Japan.
Mano plays in the Betis in Spain, got relegated the year before and tried to get back up this year, and they just missed out again, Betis, so they've had to stay in the second division. But we've just saw a replay there, definite free kick, dangerous play.
Mbia trying a spectacular overhead kick for the clearance. So here comes Japan down the right hand side. Honda cuts inside, should win himself a free kick there. He does.
He doesn't stay up front, does he, Honda? He wants to get involved all of it. He's a bit like Wayne Rooney. He wants to be here, there and everywhere. He wants the ball all the time, which is lovely to see. And they just keep interchanging, don't they? Go short. And sometimes centre-halves find it awkward, you know, when they haven't got anybody to mark.
It's that, I would imagine it's that moment of transition when the players are going out from a central position out to a wide position and vice versa. That's when you could potentially, as you're passing on a striker, when you could potentially lose them. But it's Matsui who's in a central attacking role at the moment. As Honda plays the ball to Endo. Endo flicks it forward. They're onside there, Japan. And they all paused. It's the fullback, Kamano, who's the furthest man forward.
He was off, and he knew that. Honda didn't react quick enough because he could have picked that up in a very good position.
1-0, the score remains. 20 minutes gone in the second half. Japan seeking their first World Cup victory on foreign soil, and that is a quite awful pass in the midfield. Who was it? Endo. Excuse me.
No, it was a new player. It was a new lad. It was his first touch.
Not a good one. Not an auspicious start to his World Cup career. Throw-in taken quickly by Honda down the left-hand side. And the ball out of play. Nagamoto not happy. He thought he was pushed in the back by the Marseille man Mbia.
It's got to be a Japanese throw-in then. It's either a free kick or a throw-in to Japan. He's given the throw-in to Cameroon.
I think he came off the full-back last, didn't it, Kamano? Long ball forward from Mbia. Header from Nakazawa, the Japan captain, and it's not controlled by Okubo on the left hand side, so it's a throw in taken by Eto'o. Imana, the substitute, twisting and turning on the side of the penalty area, and it's Nagamoto who punts the ball clear. Honda, the furthest man forward, he's gone back into that central striking role, and it's Hamidou, the Cameroon goalkeeper, who's out. Passes it to Basong, to Makoun. Imana's in the action again, conceding another free kick, and this time another foul on Akubo, and Japan have the ball back.
Have we brought Japan off coming at this tournament? I just didn't fancy to win a game, I've got to say, and I do know the more I've watched the competition, I've got to say the pitch, I said before, it does suit teams who play to feet. That's where you're going to get your joy. If you want to play long ball and into space, forget it, because nobody will be able to catch the ball.
Makoun rolls it to Nkulo. Sort of fortunate ball forward that just cleared the head of Abe. Now it's Amana. Amana rolls it. This is dangerous. Cameroon has got an overlap. Chipu Moting coming in at the byline, just tries to get a crossover, and it's blocked by Japan and out for a corner kick to Cameroon. At which point,
the pass from was terrible. He's rolled the ball to the byline. Roll him in and let him get onto the ball.
Well, it's Asu Akoto is going over, trotting over, as if he wants to take this, but he's going to leave it to Chipu Moting out there. Corner kick to Cameroon. It'll be taken right-footed. Can they get back on terms against Japan here in their 6th World Cup finals, more than any other African nation? Here comes the corner. It's swung in, and it's too deep, and it'll go out for a throw-in on the far side. And it's another wasted opportunity for Cameroon. 1-0 to Japan. And they've got the last quarter of the game, Cameroon, to get level, to see you through to full time here at the Free State Stadium in Bloemfontein. It's Nigel Adley.
Thank you, Arlo. And Japan are about to make a change as well, and it's their only real orthodox striker on the bench who will be coming on, Shinji Okazaki, who plays for S Pulse in the J-League. He will be coming on soon, so maybe a bit more ambition from Japan the longer this game goes on, because in what's been a fairly poor spectacle, Chris, you have to be impressed by them, because they've done what they had to do.
They're not a goal threat, are they? But as a team, they're very compact. Technically, can't argue. They play some wonderful football, little triangles. Mini Spain, the way they play, they move the ball, but they haven't got a Torres or a Villa, unfortunately.
Lower division Spain, maybe.
Yes, but I tell you what, they're lovely to watch on the eye. And the two centre-halves have done so well today. And the three lads up front have been excellent. They've worked hard. The movement's been great. The way they've linked up the play, and he has a substitution.
And it's Daisuke Matsui who was going off, and I think he's run himself into the ground.
Unbelievable. He has had an excellent game. Definitely a nominee for man of the match in my eyes. He's been excellent. Every time he's got the ball, he's used it well. As you say, works ever so hard for the team. Excellent performance.
Well, Okazaki will now come on to replace him, wearing number 9 for Japan, as darkness just about begins to descend here in Bloemfontein. There are some grey, pinky looking clouds above the stand on the far side. We played 23 minutes in the second half. Japan lead Cameroon here by 1-0, a belated 24th birthday present for Keisuke Honda. He celebrated his birthday yesterday, and so far he has scored the only goal in this game against the Cameroon side, often described as one of the powerhouses of African football, but they've been very, very disappointing so far in this game today. Another long ball played forward by Japan, a clearance deep into the Cameroon half, and it's controlled by Suleimanu, the 36-year-old goalkeeper for Cameroon, surprisingly recalled today. He's not had too much to do. Japan haven't offered that consistent goal threat, but the way they play, he has had to be on his toes, and the way Japan are playing as well, they may be dropping a bit deeper as well.
They're dropping far too deep. Look, they've never let Cameroon have the ball in the centre circle. It's alright getting in. You think you're defending when you go deep and you protect the goal. You're not, you're causing problems. You don't want to get Honda isolated up front. You've got to be close to him again. Do what you've been doing. Just because Cameroon have thrown an extra body forward, you've got to deal with it. Keep playing your football, keep up the field. Once you start dropping back into the danger zone, there's a problem.
Another free kick there conceded by Amana. He's made 3 fouls since coming on a few moments ago for Cameroon. Akubo was the man who was dumped to the turf, so Japan have a free kick here, wide on the far side, wearing their blue shirts and white shorts, playing from right to left in the second half against Cameroon in their national colours of yellow shirts with red trim and green shorts. And they need inspiration here. They need a goal. They need someone like Samuel Eto'o to really step up to the plate. He's been very quiet in this game. As Cameroon move it forward now with their anchor man in midfield, Makoun. It's a poor ball again, putting Amana under pressure, but he does well to win it back and find Asu Akoto. Infield towards Makoun again, and now Amana with a run on goal down the left hand side. He has support outside from Choupo-Moting, comes infield though and runs into a Japanese challenge, and it's cleared away by Nakazawa wide on the far side.
Well, they are really now. Samuel Eto'o's gone right up front with Webb out there. They are playing 4 up front more or less now. But can Japan not just do what they've done there? They're clearing the lanes, yes, by all means, but can they get the ball down and be brave and play through? Because there's another goal on the counter-attack if they want it. They are dropping deep. If you look now, Cameroon have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 playing up high. So Japan's got to be brave and stay high and use the ball well.
The their coach, Takeshi Okada, by far the more animated so far in the second half. Paul Le Guen, the Cameroon man, he stood there in the Diego Maradona pose from Saturday, arms firmly folded on the edge of his technical area. As Japan win the ball back and come forward again now. Honda with a good ball wide to this near side, the left, and Okazaki, who will take on the fullback, and he goes down. That's a free kick and a foul, a very foolish foul there conceded by Nkulu, and he will be the first man booked because Okazaki went past him there down this near side, and Nkulu cynically brought him down and is rightly booked.
You know, it's Nkulu's first challenge though. In the referee, I think's been itching to say, I've got to get a yellow card.
Manus had 3, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been waiting for this opportunity. Let's be honest, he's pushed the ball to the bar. He's not going anywhere. He could have just went over and said, look, you've got your free kick, don't do it again, warning. It was never a yellow card in my eyes.
But Okazaki already offering a threat for Japan, and this a free kick here in a very dangerous area, better than a corner, down this near side the left, and a chance for Japan here to kill off this game. Endo with the free kick, high towards the far post once again, and it's overhit over the head of Tulio and behind for a goal kick.
Well, the idea was right. Julio had a word with him, didn't he? And he spun right round the back, and he thought, if you just play it that far post, I'm in. And they didn't mark him, it just overhit the cross. 18
minutes to play here in Bloemfontein in Group E. On your World Cup station, BBC 5 Live, Japan leading Cameroon here by 1-0 and inching towards their first ever World Cup victory on foreign soil. All their previous wins came as co-hosts back in 2002. This is our second commentary of 3 today on 5 Live. Already in this group, Holland beat Denmark by 2-0 in Soccer City in Johannesburg. An Aga own goal, and Dirk Kuyt, as a long ball is played forward for Japan, aimed for Honda, cleared away by Asu Okoto, and quickly picked up on the far side by Akubo, who is challenged fairly according to the referee, and now maybe Cameroon can break, and this game beginning to open out. Eto'o plays it forward to Amana, who rides a challenge on the edge of the penalty area but can't poke it through to Choupo-Moting, and he may have been fouling his man there anyway. No, he wasn't, but Cameroon have to build again from deep with their goalkeeper Suleimanu. Wide to this near side, it's played back in field by Umbia, and now Basong has it just inside the centre circle for Cameroon. Running out of time here, trailing by 1-0. A good ball played wide to the far side by Eno for Asu Okoto, who comes in field, but his cross is cut out at source well by Hasebe, but Asu Okoto wins it back but then gives it back to Hasebe, and Japan can clear, and they have played the neater football, although they now give the ball away. Played forward by Amana towards Choupo-Moting on the edge of the penalty area. Amana has it again now, wide on the left. A ball played forward from left to right, looking for the run down this near side of Eno, and it's cut out well by Okazaki, and Japan just play the ball around and bring the ball away, but then give it away. High ball played forward into the penalty area, and the flag's up. Webber is offside, he shoots, it's saved anyway by Kawashima. But maybe, Chris, Cameroon just beginning to offer something of a threat, and a double change coming now. Jeremy coming on.
Yep, Jeremy's coming on, and the 17's coming on as well.
And that is Mamadou Idrissou, a striker who plays in the Bundesliga for Freiburg. So the change is made. Choupo-Moting is the first man to go off to make way for Jeremy, of course a familiar figure to fans in the Premier League. Get confirmation of the other change in a few moments time, but it needed something like that to happen. Nkulu, the fullback, is the other man who has gone off, and Idrissou has come on, so a striker replacing a defender, because you can't die waiting in these World Cups, can you, Chris? Because you look at the next game for Cameroon. They played Denmark in Pretoria on Saturday, and if they lose that game, they're out already.
Well, let's be honest, they never came here with any purpose. I know they've had a bad run of results, red friendlies, but so have Japan. And I've enjoyed the way Japan's played. It's not been a good game, let's be honest. I'd be very surprised if these two leave the group.
Well, Holland and Denmark, the other two sides, of course, involved today. The next game for Holland is against Japan in Durban on Saturday, and that could be, as things stand, a match in which the winners will qualify for the second round already. And in contrast, Cameroon against Denmark would be a losers go home scenario. As Cameroon come forward now, a long ball played forward wide towards Samuel Eto'o, who's been a peripheral figure down this near side, headed away by Kamano. And now Cameroon have it again. High ball into the penalty area, up towards the far side, and it's cleared away, overhit, and it's gone behind for a goal kick.
Well, it's just some Cameroon up for me. They have never played anything which we expect when you come to associate with a Cameroon side. You know, a lot of flair, a lot of pace. All they've shown today is that they're a well-organised side, technically not the best, and really the system doesn't suit the players they've got in my eyes, and I think Paul Grant's got to look at that. But Cameroon will be going home very, very early.
Well, he was brought in during a difficult situation in qualifying, Paul Le Guen. They made a slow start, Cameroon, but he managed to resurrect things and get them to the World Cup, and he'll have to do a similar job now. Okazaki tries to control the ball on the edge of the Cameroon penalty area for Japan, and now the indomitable Lions will bring the ball away. Playing from left to right with now only 13 minutes to play here in Bloemfontein, in the heart of South Africa. This the first game at this venue, as Cameroon are awarded a free kick, played long downfield by Jeremy, and Nakazawa just about brings the ball away for Japan, up towards the halfway line, and the goal scorer Honda. A firm challenge coming in from Drisu, and a free kick given to Japan, bang on the halfway line. And you can see Samuel Eto'o having a long discussion there with Paul Le Guen, and it's disappointing that such a great player, he's had such a great season, is playing in a role where he can do very little.
You know, he plays wide for Inter Milan, and I saw him play there quite a lot at Barcelona as well, but it's a different team. They get the ball to you. This team haven't got a midfield creative player who can get the ball to him, so you may as well say to him, just go and play up front and go and do what you need to do, because we need goals and you can score.
Throwing now to Japan, down this near side. Yuko Nagamoto, who plays his club football for Tokyo, will take it. A foul throw by the looks of it, but nothing given by the referee. Honda tries to bring it forward, but Cameroon win it back and will clear. A long ball down the field now, and a clearance from Tulio allows Idrissu to break forward for the Africans in towards the edge of the penalty area, and he offered far too much of that to Nakazawa, who goes down dramatically and wins a rather cheap free kick for Japan.
Terrible technique, wasn't it? He had all that time to run with it, get his head up, was 2-on-2, overruns it, and he ends up tripping the player out, and he gives a silly free kick away.
We did think at the start of this game that the more physically imposing Cameroon side could overpower Japan, but in many ways, Chris, it's good to see that the team that's tried to play the football could win the game.
Excellent. I love to see teams be brave and pass it and play. They've got to get a style of play, Japan. As I say, they do lack firepower, we can see that. But the back four have been well organised, well drilled, well disciplined, and the midfield have been excellent. Use little balls, they don't give it away, they don't kick long balls, Japan. It's all about, 10, 15 yard passes, give and go, good movement.
In a stadium only 2/3 full, Cameroon try and bring it forward now. Jeremy forward towards Idrissu. The challenge comes in from Tulio, and according to the assistant referee down this near side, it was a foul challenge by the central defender. I don't think so, and as you'll gather, neither does Chris Waddle. But Cameroon here have a free kick almost level with the edge of the Japanese penalty area down this near side the right, and Jeremy, who has just come on, is shaping up to take it with now 11 minutes to play here.
Jeremy's always been good at set pieces, always had a good delivery on him. He's probably at the wall now.
Aso Akoto has also come across to this near side for Cameroon. It's Jeremy, an outswinger high to the far post, fisted away by Kawashima. Cameroon have it back again now with Eto'o in the central area, onto his right foot, looks for options and plays a good ball wide to this near side for Jeremy, but the ball eventually goes beyond the former Chelsea man and out for a goal kick.
Well, one thing you say with Jeremy is he has lost his legs over the last couple of 2 or 3 years, hasn't he? And as a substitution going to be for Japan, there is a lot of tired players. The 16 for me looks very, very tired on the right hand side.
Okubo, yeah.
Looks very tired, he's put a big shift in him. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the guy.
Kisho Yano, who plays for Nagata, is the man who will come on for Japan. The final change for Takeshi Okada, their coach, who was in charge in 1998 when they had a very poor World Cup. He was then sacked and replaced by a variety of European coaches, but brought back for this competition and Japan could be on the verge of their first win on foreign soil in a World Cup finals, and in what could be a tight group, it would give them an opportunity, of course, of going through. And they played Denmark in their final game in Rustenburg. They want a free kick now. Honda is fouled just inside the Cameroonian half, and they will make the final change. And you called it, Chris, because it's a Kubo who's coming off and the number 12 Yanu who is coming on.
He's put a terrific shift in as well down that side, hasn't he? He's worked his socks off him.
He's the most impressive of the non-European players, I suppose.
Yeah, he's done very, very well. He links up very well. You know, great team player. Every time he gets the ball, he's looked to play, and he helps his full-back out all the time. Terrific shift he's put in.
9 minutes to play here on 5 Live Sport from the BBC. Cameroon trail Japan by a goal to nil. Coming up later on, Italy against Paraguay, kicking off at 7:30 in Group F in Cape Town. The holders starting the defence of their trophy. And at the end of this game, we'll be hearing from David Moyes and Daddy Baker in Johannesburg. As the shot comes in for Japan, it's spilled. A chance for Okazaki, and he hits the post. A real chance there to seal it. The shot came in from distance from Hasebe, and it was fisted away by Sulemanu towards this near side. And Okazaki, from a very narrow angle, did well to get the shot in, and it clattered against the outside of the post.
Well, great shot, pitches just in front of the goalkeeper. Maybe should have flicked it round the side rather than pushing it out. Terrific effort. Gets onto it lively. Just hits the outside the post.
But Japan continuing to carry a threat here. A good ball played forward down this near side by Tulio, but Honda didn't time the run, and he acknowledges that, and the flag is up for offside. And of course, plenty of big games coming up over the next couple of days here on your World Cup station 5 Live. Brazil against North Korea tomorrow. That will be a clash of styles, a clash of cultures. Spain, many people's favourite, start their World Cup on Wednesday, and on the same day South Africa play their second game against Uruguay, and if they win, in all probability they will be heading through to the second round. As Cameroon try and bring the ball forward now, trailing in their first game here by a goal to nil. It's played wide towards Jeremy down the right hand side, high ball into the penalty area, overhit though by Mbia, and behind for a goal kick. And Mbia has possibly been the worst Cameroon player.
Well, the shame of him is he's a midfield player. He plays centre half in the friendlies, and then he plays him at right back today, obviously saying, look, you've got license to get forward, which he did very well at times. But he's more suited in the midfield, breaking up. You can see he's got a lot of energy. And again, Paul McGlenn, for me, he's got to look at after this game, if it stays 1-0, whatever, he's got to look at, even if they get back into it with an equaliser, he's got to look at this team and get his tactic straight, because this team is going nowhere.
And for many of our listeners at home, this is the sort of football Rangers are playing under Paul Le Guen during his very short spell at Ibrox. But of course, he has been a very successful manager elsewhere, did a great job at Lyon, consistently making the Champions League. As Cameroon come forward now, Adrisu finds Eto, flicked wide towards this near side, and Jeremy, and played back towards Mbia again, who comes forward. Okazaki with a body check there, midway inside the Japan half, but the referee saw nothing wrong. Paul Le Guen can't believe it, and it's back with Sulemanu, the goalkeeper, who carries the ball 40 yards outside his penalty area for Cameroon. A long clearance downfield again, headed away commandingly by Tulio, up towards the halfway line for Japan. A look at the watch. 6 minutes to play here in Bloemfontein. Japan still lead here by a goal to nil. And another long ball forward from Cameroon is repelled, and Japan now will try and break with Honda. Towards this near side, the left, 3 yellow shirts around him, just trying to eat up the clock here, and Honda's done well there. He goes down looking for a free kick. The challenge came in from Mbia, and the referee says get up and get on with it.
He's done well there though, hasn't he? He's just running the clock down. Yeah, he's trying to get a throw in, trying to get a free kick at first, you can see that. They're very tired, Japan. They've put a terrific shift in. You know,
they'll deserve to win.
They're playing 3 up front now, Cameroon, 3 centre forwards, but the back 4 playing very narrow. They ain't a problem. They've had no joy down the wings, Cameroon. They've had no good deliveries. They just can't see them scoring a goal.
Amana coming very deep now, picks the ball up, thinks about the shot from 35 yards out, now bursts into the penalty area, tries to flick it through towards Adrisu, and it's cleared away. Attack versus defence now. Asu Okoto with a high ball into the penalty area. Yuki Abe is there to clear the ball away for Japan. It's cleared away now up towards this near side, and Mbia with a shot, hits the crossbar. Mbia closest to an equaliser there for Cameroon. A shot from 25 yards. Now Amana with the rebound. It maybe took a deflection into the grateful arms of Kawashima, but And Beer there picked the ball up 30 yards out, a right-footed thunderbolt which came back off the woodwork again.
What a fantastic strike then by we talked about this ball, that didn't move anywhere, that just went straight towards the top corner, hit the bar, and unlucky for Cameroon it's come out a long way.
But it came out of nothing, which rather sums up their display.
Yeah, totally agree. It's, it was a clearance which he picked up and hit.
4 minutes to play. Japan now clinging on, but they win a free kick midway inside their own half. A free kick conceded there by Webo, and Japan just trying to eat up the clock now. We're watching a replay of that shot, and Kawashima beaten to the wide, and it came back off the angle of post and crossbar. And now Nakazawa clears long downfield for Japan again. Yanko goes down on the far side, but nothing was given as Asuakoto brings the ball away for Cameroon. The yellow shirts pouring forward now. A long ball over the top from Eno, looking for Adrisu, who flicks on, almost collides there with his teammate on the edge of the penalty area, and in the end the ball bobbles through towards the goalkeeper.
It's like watching now, they've just basically gone up at Cameroon as if it was like an English game, get the ball forward. People used to talk about how English were very direct and just get the ball in the area and hopefully we'll get a break. That's all they've got left, Cameroon. They can't play around this team, they can't keep the ball, they can't pass it.
Japan coming forward again now. Honda cuts infield, right foot shot from him. Almost a Robert Green there from the goalkeeper Suleimano. It was a poor shot, driven low into the penalty area, but he seemed to take his eyes off it. The ball rebounded off his hands, and thankfully for him, just crawled along the 6-yard line, and he was able to pick the ball up. And he now clears long downfield again. 3 minutes to play. Japan still lead by a goal to nil. A ball's flicked into the penalty area by Adrisu and through behind for a goal kick.
Well, another long ball, but Honda again cutting inside, and as you say, he nearly spilled that through his arms into the net, didn't he? And there's another substitution for Japan.
Just trying to eat up the clock now. It's Junichi Inamoto who is coming on, the former Arsenal and Fulham man, and he is replacing another man, Hasebe, who's had a magnificent game for Japan here in what could be an historic day for their footballing nation as they edge towards their first victory outside their own country in a World Cup finals. And Inamoto now moved back to Japan after spells at various clubs around Europe, including West Brom as well as Arsenal and Fulham in the Premier League. Scored a couple of goals on home turf back in 2002 and also played in 2006, now age 30, but he's somebody who can come on and just give a bit more balance to midfield.
He grabs, he puts people under pressure. He's always been fit, probably lacked the technique to succeed in England, but one thing he said, he was very, very fit.
He's on the ball now, clips it high into the penalty area, looking for Okazaki over his head and into the arms of Suleimano. 90 seconds to play here in Bloemfontein. A chill evening now as Cameroon play another long ball forward up towards the edge of the Japanese penalty area, headed away by Tulio initially, and the ball eventually headed back by the central defender towards his goalkeeper Kawashima, who flops on the ball gratefully inside his 6-yard area.
But I think they've got to put the goalkeeper or the centre-halves in a bit more pressure. Honda's got to stay up and say, look, just work, don't let them keep pumping that ball into the box, because one's going to fall to a Cameroon player. I know they're running out of time, waiting for the ball to go up to see how long. But the more they keep dropping into that box, the more the ball comes in. One's going to fall to a Cameroon player.
Lots of nervous faces, clad in blue, up in the stand on the far side as we await the fourth official, as we're deep into the final minute of normal time here. Another long ball hoof forward for Cameroon over the head of Webo, and it will bounce all the way through towards Kawashima, clad in all grey, defending the goal away to our right-hand side. Italy against Paraguay coming up. 7:30 at Cape Town, and there were some Japanese fans on the far side who've actually got inflatable flags, and they're wearing them, which is something they look like they're wearing something else, don't they?
They look like tin and tap.
Throwing on the far side to Japan. 20 seconds of normal time to play here, leading by a goal to nil, and this will be such a fillip for them after a dreadful build-up to this competition. Yanko on the far side, just trying to eat up the clock, and he does well to play the ball off Bassong, and that will be a throw-in conceded by Cameroon. And Japan have them just where they want them here, and there'll be 4 minutes of added time at the end of this game. And the coach, Okada, not too happy about that, but Japan are deep inside Cameroonian territory, and while they've They've had the shot against the crossbar and they've offered a bit more. Cameroon, they don't deserve anything from this game, do they?
I've got to say, I'm really pleased for Japan. They've played wonderful football, they've stuck their task, they've come in this competition, and everybody said they'd be the team everybody will stick 3 and 4 goals past. I think they've been excellent today. Give the manager a bit of credit, he got it right. And the way they play, it suits the surface. I've said that. If you play to feet on these surfaces, you get rewards. Long ball hasn't worked, as Cameroon have obviously shown. They've been terrible, Cameroon.
As Japan just play it forward again, but they've conceded a free kick inside the centre circle, and there's a yellow card here for dissent against one of the Japanese players. It's Abe. And Cameroon maybe have one more chance here to pump a long ball forward. Everybody is back now defending for Japan, apart from Honda, who himself now is making tracks towards his own penalty area. Asu Okoto is over this free kick, and you can see the difference in size between the Japanese and Cameroonian players, but it's not made an impact so far, and that free kick is skipped into the penalty area and into the under goal.
There should be goals. You don't let a ball pitch on the 6-yard line. Why doesn't nobody attack it? They all look at each other and say, well, I don't want to attack it, you go and attack it. It doesn't work. If you want to score goals, you've got to go for the ball, and that should have been a goal. Terrific balling.
Japan have won a throw-in down this near side on the halfway line, and Paul Le Guen, the Cameroon coach, looks absolutely exasperated there. Arms remain resolutely folded as he watches his team slip towards a defeat here. We've played nearly 2 minutes of the 4 minutes of added time. Okazaki is penalised for handball, and Cameroon have a free kick taken quickly by Nkulu up towards the edge of the penalty area. Adrisu controls, finds Eto'o, but the clearance comes in. But here's Eto'o again with a right foot shot into the body of Tulio, and it rebounds all the way to the halfway line. Relative safety for Japan, who are still very, very deep in. Asu Okoto's long ball forward, controlled on the chest by Eto'o on the edge of the penalty area, and now Jeremy down this near side, the right, swings the ball in, looking for Eto'o. Oh, almost an own goal there. Great save by Kawashima inside the penalty area. It was Weber who got the final touch as the ball was swung in. I think the ball hit him inside the penalty area, and Kawashima did well there to plunge away to his right and pull the ball away.
I think he's given a free kick. I think he's given a free kick just before. Look, there the ball goes in. There's the free kick. I don't think that would have counted if it had gone in. The referee's blue. The ball's gone in. There's the free kick. And he's blue. I think it's a penalty more than a free kick to be fair. Look, he's just run into him.
Great save from Kawashima though, anyway.
Fantastic save. And Webbo didn't know anything about it, let's be honest. Look, it's just come to his foot. Look, he's trying to control it more than anything.
Kawashima clears downfield again. A minute of added time to play here in Bloemfontein. The vuvuzelas are still being blown, but it's the Japanese supporters on the far side who could soon be celebrating an historic victory for their nation, unless Cameroon can find something, but not now as they give the ball away. It's played forward by Yano up towards the halfway line for Japan, but one back by Nkulu. A long ball forward and out of bounds again by Japan on the edge of the penalty area, headed wide towards this near side by Ino. But Cameroon win it back again, and Nkulu's long ball forward into the penalty area. Aim for the giant Adrisu, but yet again the ball doesn't fall for a Cameroon boot, and Yano will run the ball forward on the far side but then gives the ball away. Here's Asu Okoto down the Cameroon left. 15 seconds of normal time to play. Now or never for Cameroon. The ball into the penalty area is missed by the first defender, Abe, and cleared away at the near post by Nakazawa, and his 106th cap could be one to remember for Japan.
They're defending ever so well. they really throw the bodies on his blue. They deserved it.
That's it. An historic day for Japan. They are absolutely delighted. Their first ever victory on foreign soil in a World Cup final. And after the joy for Ghana yesterday, bitter disappointment here for Cameroon. They simply haven't played, and Cameroon have lost here. Japan have caught them out. A deserved victory for the Asian side here in Bloemfontein. And Chris Waddle, a poor game, but Japan simply deserved it.
I think Japan got it right. They passed the ball, the pitches. It suits teams who want to play football, get it past, you'll get your rewards. And Japan to be excellent all the way through. Yes, we'll talk about the front three and Honda and the players, Matsui, but the back four absolutely top class the last 20 minutes. They dug in, they won every header, they put their lives on the line. They were absolutely tremendous, Japan. Nice to watch on the eye. Pity they didn't have a little bit more going forward at times. But for me, Cameroon, not the Cameroon I expected. Absolutely no pattern, long ball, terrible side, I've got to say.
Paul Le Guen's got a big job to do.
massive job. He's got to try and rally this. He's got to get the balance right. You've got to get the most out of Samietu. After Samietu today, he had one shot which got blocked. Now, a player of his ability should be playing up front, round the box, and getting a bit of service.
And Holland play Japan next, and for the Japanese, I suppose now, having got this win, almost a free hit for them.
Just defend. If they do like they did, they'll get a point at least, and that will take, that'll set them on their way. You'd fancy Holland have got a bit more class, and they do pass it to feet and move, which suits this type of surface.
Well, there we are, Arlo. You can see the dejection amongst the Cameroonian players there and amongst their supporters on the far side, and the sheer delight from the Japanese players. They've all gone across to the far side to do that celebration where they all line up in a line, then throw their arms in the air to thank their supporters. It's a great day for Japanese football here in Bloemfontein. They've won by a goal to nil.